Grüezi miteinander und herzlich willkommen zum Livestream. Mein Name ist Schaddn und das ist Slop Sunday. I'm kidding. My name is Schaddn, this is the stream. I have forgot to turn off the green screen. Uh-oh. Hold on. There we go. That's more like it. Yeah. And this is Slop Sunday. Not delayed, there is no delays on the Schaddn stream due to technical issues whatsoever. There has never been. I'll make this very clear. This is not a thing that happens on this channel. It is not a thing. No, it has happened again. So, I rebuilt my PC. Right? And I've installed a new CPU, new motherboard, and thus I had to like reseat and reinstall all the memory, right? I got myself a new C drive, so I now have two M.2 SSDs which are installed on the motherboard, two SATA SSDs which are in RAID, and one like backup hard drive. And the backup hard drive I couldn't install previously because there weren't enough SATA slots on the motherboard for whatever reason. So I bought a new expansion card. Now this motherboard comes with a second PCIe connector, like the stick where you put the graphics cards in, like one of those connectors. And that's where the expansion card would go. It also goes there, like it fits, it's good. The thing is, this motherboard has 4 M.2 slots where you could install like the M.2 type SSDs. 4. I use 2 of them. But after I had installed the new expansion card, my SSD wouldn't show up anymore. What's up with that? Turns out that the M.2 slot that I used and the PCIe slot are linked, and you can't use one while the other is active. I didn't know that. And it was a pain to install the SSD in that slot, so I'll have to take apart the whole damn thing again just to reinstall the SSDs at a later date. I'm not gonna do that now. I've just moved like the priority in the BIOS to the one that I want to use for now, which is the SSD. So yeah, we well, fuck it, we ball, I guess. Oh, but it's pain. It's pain. PCs are pain. I don't know why I do this to myself every few years. Like every single time I say, no, I'll let someone else do the annoying bit and just buy a PC. Every time I say it, every time I build a little bit in it, or do like one for a friend. And every single time I think like, oh no, but it's so easy, I can just do it myself. And then shit like this happens and I'm just like, frustrated. Why do I have to deal with this? I don't know. Just do. But on a more positive note, because I have briefly had access to my old hard drive, I've recovered the configuration file for my streamer bot. So now, the cool thing is, quote, works again. Oh god, horrible quote. Right. We only have 3. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, but it works again. I think I forget who has access to it. Let me VIPs for sure. Mods, I'm not quite sure. Let me check. Commands. Add quote. Moderators and VIPs have access to it, and me of course. Right. Yeah, it's good. So yeah, I'm really happy that works again. What stream was that from now? That's a good question. I didn't think I should. Oh my, I should like add a field for what stream it's for. Maybe. I'm not sure. But it sounds like something I would say. Anyway, oh, you know what? It's probably from the other Slop Sunday. Maybe the one on Friday? Maybe the Slop Sunday on Friday, I'm not sure. In any case, I should fire up Opera G. I should fire up a browser that we're not sponsored by, so I won't say its name. I will fire up a browser And yep, open YouTube on a very incognito tab. Ah, yes, the unknown browser that I haven't named. Do I have a quick slot for React Slop? I have! There's a button on my Stream Deck, it says React Slop. I'm gonna press it. Way! I can also do this. And we still have the music until I get settled in. Right. So, we have quite a few submissions. I don't have Discord open because I just restarted the PC. Very good, I'm so prepared. Oh no, no, Saisl, what have you done? What have you done? No! Why must I suffer? Look, I was like, I saw the ping, there wasn't a ping, I just saw like the little icon where it says new message on the server, right? So this is what you were apologizing for, you little So I saw the ping and I was like, ooh, what could be on there? And then I saw like, oh, it's the art channel, and I got really excited, and then I saw I was like spoiler tagged. So I got a little bit scared. And yeah, what can I say? Let's pull this in here. Right, that's enough of that. And that is definitely enough of that. Also, you get shot with a gun. Thank you, Tab. Thank you for the congratulations. Appreciate it. Always wanted to be pregnant. It does look good if it's any consolation. It's not a consolation. Why does it look good? I agree, actually. Like it's nicely drawn. But why? Like of all the art that could have been conceived. Yeah, conceived. It's this. Oh. Hell. It's actually hell. This Dino Shanley X. Shut up! Shut up! Also, you will still have drawing like that from Garlic Foes here. Yours is arguably worse because it was like all of us contributing to that. But it's also peak. I treasure that stream. You have no idea. That is one of my favorite things I've like ever done with everyone in that stream. It's just so good. I think it's private or unlisted on my channel, but sometimes I just like kind of rewatch it just for funsies. It was such a good stream. Like genuinely, it's so good. Oh my god. But anyway, we have a few submissions. I've changed the system in which submissions are accepted. I will look at it for like the first 5 seconds, roughly, maybe less, and judge whether I want to see it on stream, mostly by mostly by the comments vibes, and everything that will be watched on stream gets a checkmark reaction in the channel, and other reactions, I haven't really like fixed everything yet. The eye symbol is I've watched this on my own or I've already seen this, but depending on how good the video is, I might rewatch it on stream. The stuff made here ones, just I've learned something from there, which is pretty cool. And the other ones, I guess, will just have a surprise. I should like kind of close the channel usually before when I've gone through everything. Damn it. Oh, but whatever. Right. So. You promised someone would watch a clip. Right, you did. I did tell you I'd watch it on the stream. You know what? I'm gonna pull it early. For no reason other than viewer engagement. Because the title is "It's for the Plot." Trust me, it's like I read the post, and oh my. Okay, you see, on the small preview window on Reddit, there's a play button, right? A gigantic play button. So I didn't really see what was on screen. Mr. Capram. Oh boy, I'm gonna turn up the music for this. What is going on in this clip?
I actually remember I had to.
Oh.
They asked me to. They asked for.
No,
I had to. They asked me to. They asked to scan my. Like underneath my feet.
Specifically.
When I was at Kojima Production.
He does it again. He does it again. The stuttering, it's so good. Like the 10 attempts it takes to explain what was happening. She sounds traumatized. Yeah, no wonder. Like, I get scanning the body, but like getting asked to specifically scan the underside so it's true to life is like this like next level. I just
like underneath my feet for a reference when I was at Kojima Production.
Oh no, my internet dropped out. Hello? Hello? Did the uncomfortable giggle? Yeah. Are we back? I feel like I've dropped a few seconds of stream, haven't I? Uh-oh. There is nothing more scary during a stream than getting the Windows notification and it says like, OBS is reconnecting. I don't like that. Oh no. It's also really funny to see when I tab out the browser turn like, you know, pixelated. Okay. Okay, we're good. Ooh, this clip is it's gold. I really need to play more Kojima games. Which is completely unrelated to this clip that I've just been shown. The sentiment is peak Kojima writing. It is. I don't know what it is. It's like piss, shit, and feet. These are the three integral parts to a Kojima game. A Hideo Kojima game. I don't know what it is. Like in Death Stranding, you literally fling like piss bottles and shit extract at like the enemy. So, like Kojima, what's going on here? What is going on? I think I need some ASMR to to calm me back down. I've just spotted something in the Discord.
Altitude.
Wait. No, hold on. I only know like the Boeing or the Airbus pull up. So I've never seen the F-18. Why is it this voice? Oh shit. It's really aggressive. Is it a stick shaker? Wait, what? No. I have no idea what's going on.
Roll left. Bingo.
Please don't tell me bingo is a hit marker. In like the actual F-18. Why does it remind me of McDonald's? Aggressively getting bonus. Wait, it's a nice song.
Pull up.
That's a very, like, emotional pull-up. Sir, your fries are ready. Ding, 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 ding. PV, there's a fly in your room and you have your gaming laptop on. Pull up. Or brrrt. Oh, that reminds. I have like a small, just the noises. Yeah, fair. But like the pull up versus the fan is kind of real. I have like a small fan in my room because it was really hot, right? And for some reason I had watched a mosquito live getting like sucked into the back and just like you could hear it getting whacked and just flung out the front. It stayed in one piece, luckily, so I could just like collect it after. But I don't know why I'm telling this. There's no point to this. It's just this is something that happened, and it kind of stuck in my mind. Like I have, thank you. Man. I have this borderline, like I would almost say borderline amnesia, kinda, because like I forget everything, but some things are just etched into my mind. Like, until I will remember this when I'm 80. I'm 100% sure I will remember this moment for all eternity. I don't know why. Anyway. There are some moments saved in my brain which I just have no idea how that happened. That one time the mosquito got horribly disfigured in another world would go hard as an isekai title or a light novel. But yeah, no, it wasn't horribly disfigured, luckily. It was just a little bit folded. Alright, then. Cool to react to. I still see him when I close my eyes. I wish I could quote like Miller now, but I forgot. This video right here.
Is brought to you by...
God, no, it's not. It's not. This stream is sponsored by Boot.dev. I wish. Every night, I can feel my leg and my arm. There is a video. Oh my god. I'm gonna show. Okay, I'm gonna show you this. Oh cool. I'm the first. I'm the first result when I search for myself. There is. Oh, it's not here. It's not here. It's unlisted. That's crazy. That is well, no, it's not crazy. Actually, it makes total sense why it's unlisted. It's probably unlisted. So it should probably be in... Oh, yeah, right. I'm gonna show you a Schaddn stock top tip. I think. Probably. If I can figure out whether this one is unlisted or not. It should be like, there should be like an option in like the YouTube editor, right? Why do I not see, why am I still getting hate? This one is also like etched into my mind. I don't know why. Keemstar mentioned, I haven't seen shit from him in like ages. Oh, well, I guess I can just click on it and it'll tell me. Yes, it's unlisted. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the Schaddn stalking top tip. Which is you go onto playlists, right? Because many things are unlisted, but the ones that I really wanted to keep private are private. So if you go down here and you go to ignore like play this at my funeral and what music did you listen to, you can like fully ignore those. You just go to stuff. And then you see, you see this. Why are we still Brot?
Warum sind wir noch hier? Nur wegen des Brotes? Jede Nacht kann ich mein Brot fühlen. An meinem Arm. Sogar die Fingerbrote. Das Brot, das ich verloren habe. Die Mitbrote, die ich verloren habe. Der Schmerz will nicht enden. Es ist, als ob sie noch hier wären. Du fühlst es auch. Stimmt's? Ich werde sie dazu bringen, uns unsere Brote zurückzugeben.
Oh. This is... Same, I'm also crying. This is so good. I just want to say, if you understand German, I have made some peak back in the days. I have produced peak. So yeah, see, 28 videos are hidden, but like, the stuff playlist is full of stuff, honestly. Wait, is it? Oh, new stuff is on the bottom, so this is the oldest that you'll get. Yeah, I have some... I have some things in here. This is technically my first ever vocal cover. I'm not gonna show you this because it's shit. Wait, no, this is technically my first... 9 years ago, this is crazy. I feel so old, this is giving me back pain. But I haven't just made this. Since we're here, I might as well show you this one. This one is, I had almost made this a format. I just want to say, like, before I stopped YouTube intermittently, as I do. This was the first iteration of the rebreading of popular media. It's like 2 minutes, holy shit. It's also really shit, I think.
Brot.
So, oh.
Brot bleibt immer gleich.
It's so quiet.
Im Jahr 1945 diente mein Urgroßvater in der Army. Und er fragte sich, wann er wieder Weizen pflanzen könnte. Mit seiner Frau und seinem Brot, das er noch nie gesehen hatte.
I love this video.
Sein Wunsch ging in Erfüllung, als die US-Brot mit den Brotbombenabwürfen auf Hiroshima und Nagasaki den Zweiten Brotkrieg beendeten. Die Welt wartete danach gebannt auf den Brotuntergang. Aber stattdessen geschah etwas Wundervolles. Wir begannen, die Brotenergie nicht mehr nur für Waffen, sondern als unbegrenzte Brotquelle zu nutzen. Die Leute genossen Luxus, der zuvor nur in Science-Fiction-Romanen möglich war. Brot im Haushalt, brotgetriebene Autos, tragbare Brote. Aber im 21. Jahrhundert war der brutanische Traum ausgeträumt. Und es gab ein böses Erwachen. Die jahrelange Verschwendung hatte zu einer extremen Brotknappheit geführt. Alles ging den Bach runter. Und der Frieden war nur noch eine blasse Erinnerung. Wir schreiben nun das Jahr 2077. Und die Welt steht am Abgrund des totalen Krieges. Ich habe Angst. Angst um mich, meine Frau und mein kleines Brot. Denn wenn ich eines in der Army gelernt habe, dann das. Brot bleibt immer gleich.
Oh, that's it. Oh my god, this is... How did I come up with this? I don't know. I think... I'm crying, actually. It's sad. Oh. Brot bleibt immer gleich should be a Schaddn one. You can make it a reality. I'm just saying. You can make it a reality. I think I made like a Spotify playlist, which is called like assorted bread, like Germans, assortiertes Brot, which is also the inspiration for assorted Schaddn, my second channel. But I needed to make like a thumbnail for that playlist, right? So what I did was I genuinely just took a JPEG of Mischbrot and put a doctor's hat on it, and that was the assorted Schaden playlist. And because of that image, I had it randomly laying around on my hard drive. I saw it, and I was playing Fallout 4, and for some reason I had it open on the side, and I just saw the intro, and I was like, wait, what if I slapped spread on this? Because there was something about like portable. Yeah, right. I don't actually know what the original is, but there's like this part where it goes like Brot im Haushalt, tragbare Brote. I don't know if it's computers or energy. I think it's computers. So computers in like the living room, portable computers, and I thought it would be really funny to like replace it with bread, because like obviously you could have bread like in your household. Obviously you could have portable bread. It's a fucking sandwich. So that's where it kind of started. And then I just replaced more and more nouns with bread, and when I got to the baby and I replaced the baby with bread, I was just like, oh, this is peak. Mein kleines Brot. Oh, yeah, no, this is cinema. It is cinema. I thought it was peak. Then I had a phase where I was like so ashamed for these videos, and now I think they're peak again. Like 10 years later, they are peak again. It's just good stuff. We came full circle. We did. We came full bread. Oh my god. I wish I could make peak like this again. I wish I had the whimsy. Or maybe I do. Bread never changes. I feel like, oh, I was thinking about this recently. Don't ask why, but I was thinking about this recently. Like the German translation is Krieg ist immer gleich. And I think Krieg ist immer gleich is different from war never changes. The world may change, but your bread stays the same. It is like a motivational speech. Now the question is this applied to like a hyper-industrialized slice of toast? Where like, yep, it just let it sit there for thousands of years, it stays the same because it's full of chemicals? Or is it because the recipe just has genuinely never changed? It's just water, flour, and like a little bit of salt and hops? No, not hops. Yeast. Mendu. Transgender. Yes, the Wolbachia. Kojima should make the Wolbachia real. That's all I'm saying. Oh, the T virus. I can't tell whether you mean T as in transgender or T as in testosterone. Did you know that? This is very random. If you get like T in injections, right? Apparently, if you get like the 3-month treatment, this is not from personal experience. I've been told this. I just want to say. But apparently, if you get like the 3-month treatment, where you get like a shot every 3 months, they just like shoot it into your ass, like not into like the muscle not the muscle tissue, just the tissue like of your butt, because apparently that's where it's like most evenly distributed over time, something like that. So yeah, that's no, they do nothing to your ass. Yeah, like the side of the title. Yeah. Exactly, that's what I meant. Do not take the other clip out of context. I could. If I were more famous, surely this would end up on some like right-wing podcast as like an devoid of context clip. But anyway, let's get into the turning fruits into refrigerant video, because I've seen this and I was very interested. And I've watched I wanted to vet like the first 5 seconds to see whether it's like the atmosphere like I was going for. I kind of watched the first minute by accident.
This
Anyway.
video is brought to you by boot.dev.
No, not
Welcome back to
sponsored.
Cooking with Hyperspace Pirate and Mark. Oh, never mind. It looks like my partner has been taken to federal prison for insider trading. Too bad you
This was a joke that I'm not American enough to understand, but I would assume she's like some kind of Senate member. Got done for insider trading, which is crazy, by the way. I just want to say, like, getting arrested in America for insider trading as a member of parliament, as a member of the Senate, I think, is insane. Like, it's illegal, yes, highly, very much so. But no one has been arrested for it in like decades. Like, how bad does your insider trading have to be? Like, how blatant do you have to be when everybody knows that everybody there does it, and you're the one to get arrested for it?
wasn't a member of Congress.
A member of Congress, here we go. Whoops, man.
So I guess I'm doing this video alone. Today I've got a bunch of fruit, or rather one might say I'm fruit maxing to use the parlance of our times. I'm going to be using it to do a bit of chemistry with the ultimate goal of making refrigerant for my cooling projects. Absolutely nobody asked for this, but you're going to get it anyway. I'm going to take these ordinary, non-suspicious looking fruits and turn them into ethylene gas, and also do a small demonstration on how to turn them into ethane. These are the two.
I first thought, see, I should have just like stole my own title from the last time of like, will I be disappointed in the people who send submissions? And I should have used it for this stream. I will like question why you need this. I will just have thoughts about it. But yeah, this video intrigued me because I thought like, how would you make like a refrigerant which is hydrocarbons from fruit? Because like you just take everything away that makes a fruit, and you would just like take the sugar and I guess like split it up and rearrange it. But no, ethylene, as far as I know, is like the stuff in fruit that makes other fruits ripen, right? When you can like, when you put like a bad apple, cue the music, into a bag with good apples, and then they all go bad. I think that's the ethylene that makes that ripens them a little bit. So it shouldn't be too hard to get this. You could just like freeze the vapors, I guess. Ethane, no idea.
Two main types of hydrocarbon refrigerants used in the second stage of a cascade vapor compression system, which suppliers seem to charge exorbitant amounts for, despite the fact that they're not that hard to make.
Oops, gotta allow this. Freeze the vapors, what did I do? No, not the way. Actually do freeze them. Yes, it is that how we ripen our fucking apples plant camp. Nice. The experts coming through in the comments. It's always great. I have fostered a community of experts. Yeah, it's very great.
The reason I'm not making heavier hydrocarbons that'd be used for a
Why not these? Because they're shit as fuck to make.
first stage refrigerant like butane or propane is because those molecules are much longer chains, and in general it seems like the longer a hydrocarbon is, the more complicated it is to synthesize.
Yeah.
Although ethylene could theoretically be dimerized to butene with an amateur setup and used for a first stage, but that's a subject for another video.
No, wait, actually, maybe. No. Well, maybe. You'd have to split off one, right? And then you get an H+, which is like by itself, and then you just attach this to here, which, yeah, you just take this electron and put it over here, and then you take the H that was split off and put it on this end. You could do it, it's just, what? Blocked for bullying. I didn't even read the Y message, I just... Oh, stop bullying the apples. No, but they were bad apples. Oh, I wish I could, like, recite the melody. Your chemistry classes are like 4 years back. It's been hot. Well, mine have... Yeah, my chemistry classes are also 4 years back. And I want to say, I like to say, oh, I've studied chemistry. But the reality is, I've been there for like half a semester and dropped out like after the first set of exams because I'm just so shit at it. Anyway.
Yeah. The process for ethylene is pretty simple. The fruits are blended up and mixed with water and yeast to ferment the fructose and glucose in them into ethanol. Then the ethanol is distilled out of the messy mix of fruit gunk to clean it up. Then it's boiled and...
Wait, hold on.
The fruits are blended up and mixed with water and yeast to ferment the fructose and glucose in them into ethanol. Then the ethanol is distilled out of the...
We're making fruit brandy right now. Well, how is this gonna help with
messy mix of fruit gunk to clean it up. Then it's boiled and the vapor is passed through an aluminum oxide catalyst bed that's at around 400 C. That causes dehydration of the ethanol.
Kind of spat out my monitor. Whoops.
All molecules into ethylene and water, and the water is allowed to condense out of the vapor stream, leaving behind the ethylene gas. The reason ethylene is commonly...
Wait, so we're not even taking the ethylene that was in the fruit, we're just making it from the alcohol. Yes. Fine. You picked it out of 3 and regretted it because the teacher was special. Well, what can I say? If you go like hardcore into chemistry, you have to be special. Because like the kind of dedication that you need to stay in chemistry, my god. Like the people there were absolutely cracked at what they did. Like, holy shit. They would... The ones that stayed in those classes were the ones that, they'd go party, like, Monday through Thursday, and then they'd show up, like, piss-drunk Friday morning, sleep in, like, the auditorium, over the lunch break, then show up to lab Friday afternoon, and just, like, smash it, and go home, do the homework, and then start partying on Monday again. He was very full of himself to the point the other teachers were annoyed by him. Oh, that's also very real. This is the other side. I think when I was studying at ETH there, 2 of like the senior chemistry professors had gigantic beef with each other. They'd sabotage, like to the point where they'd sabotage each other, where they would like try and get like deliveries of like chemicals cancelled, or just like they'd have a scientific mud fight by throwing papers at each other, like not literally throwing papers, but like, you know, writing about the other's research and saying why it's shit, like all the time. It wasn't very productive, and I think one of them did get banned after time. So yeah, it kind of got a little heated.
Used in the second stage of a cascade vapor compression system is because it has a boiling point of minus 104 C. It's also used to make polyethylene and bless the world's waterways with unlimited microplastics.
Yippee.
So that's how you'd make ethylene from fruit, but its heavier cousin ethane is a little more tricky. Ethylene can be hydrogenated to ethane by mixing it with hydrogen gas in a catalyst chamber at around 300 C with nickel or platinum. Hydrogen is easy enough to...
I was about to say, like, this is easy enough to make, this is easy enough to achieve, this isn't very expensive, where's the problem?
Make, and getting a pipe to 300 C isn't a problem either. The only tricky part is the catalyst. Platinum is extremely expensive, and the...
Oh, not a nickel catalyst, like, you need a... Wait, what? No. I didn't listen. I'm also not gonna scroll back. Anyway, the chemistry teacher always wanted us to call him doctor, and your biology teacher hated when we did that, because she felt old. They were polar opposites. Oh no. I mean, I you know what? I get why someone would want that. And when I email professors, the cold email is always like starting off with dear doctor. And then they usually reply with a first name, and they're like, they just sign it with their first name, and then the rest of the conversation is just hello, first name, because they also write like this back. So yeah, I just do that, but like if they insist on being called doctor, that's unusual. Like pretty much everyone I know thus far is always like, oh yeah, just call me by first name.
Problem with the nickel is that when it's used as a catalyst, it's typically in a powder form that's so fine that it will spontaneously ignite in the atmosphere from
I learn something new every day. I didn't know nickel would just spontaneously combust. But then again, I guess if you want it as a catalyst, it can't be nickel oxide, but it must be nickel. Yeah, okay.
rapid oxidation, so I haven't gotten this method to work yet. The other method is a lot less efficient, but I actually have gotten it to work in the past, and it's a thing called Kolb electrolysis. This doesn't use ethylene as a precursor reagent at all, but rather electrolyzes a solution of sodium acetate and spits out CO2 and
Sure.
ethane on the anode. Then the CO2 is scrubbed out of the gas stream with something like calcium hydroxide, leaving you
This is easy enough. This is really funny. It turns like the solution really milky. He insisted the teachers. Oh god. Ooh, forcing your peers to do that? I mean, if they're in on the joke. Sorry. So if like if it's a Mr. Capron thing, then I'd get it. But like, if it's serious. I don't know, man. Oh no.
with the ethane. Ethane boils at minus 89°, so it doesn't get quite as cold as ethylene under the same pressure, but you can store it as liquid at room temperature at around 42 bar, which is a huge advantage over ethylene. The only catch with the electrolysis method is that the anode has to be a special material like platinum or have a multi-metal oxide coating like the ones you'd use for a chlorate cell. Okay,
I love that. Like, you have the choice between like a catalyst, which is hard to get and hard to handle, not hard to get, hard to handle, or you have the choice of a anode, which is hard to get.
Okay, so going back to the fruit thing, you'd have to go through the process of fermentation to make ethanol and then dilute it to around 6 to 7% concentration and add in a thing called acetobacter, which is a type of bacteria that eats ethanol and poops out acetic acid, resulting in the production of vinegar. Unlike the ethanol fermentation process.
Oh, wait. Wait. If I get myself a distillation setup and some acetobacter, I could make concentrated acetic That's how you would get homebrewed concentrated acetic acid. That's very cool. Oh no, don't give me the side eye, don't give me the side eye just yet. With this, you could... We can't really make things with it. It's just very useful to have. Moving on.
The acetic acid process is aerobic, meaning it uses oxygen, so to make it go faster, you can continuously bubble air into the container to dramatically reduce the reaction time. The acetobacter is a wild, naturally occurring microbe, but to get it in...
Very wild. Useful for what? For chemistry. If I wanted to make explosives, I would use some kind of nitrogen salt. Clean the toilet? No. No, not the toilet, I don't think. Actually, yes. Actually, yes for cleaning the toilet. Now, I was thinking like most cleaning solutions are basic. And I don't mean like basic as in like, oh, they don't do much. Like basic as in they're the opposite of acidic. But toilet cleaners usually are acidic. I just remembered because they need to remove lime scale, right? So most of them have like lactic acid in them, I believe. But you could totally use like any kind of acid.
In a large enough concentration to actually work in a reasonable amount of time, you typically start the mix off with a few spoonfuls of unpasteurized vinegar from another source. You can breed this stuff on your own, but I'm not going to because I've already got a cat, a dog, and a bunch of kids, so I don't need my house getting any more weird smells. Once you've got your vinegar, you mix it with some baking soda, which will bubble out CO2.
Wait, are dogs stinky? No, right? Not very. I don't know. Is a dog a cat is self-cleaning? Your dog is. Depends on the dog and what you feed him. I see. Okay, so Nap's dog is certified stinky. Oh, cats will just lick their balls in front of you to show, I don't know what they want to show, but they show something. Yours is greasy. I see. Greasy little noodle. I'm gonna say Naps is greasy, if anything. Nice. Could you also call him like silky, maybe? Or her? Sorry. You can feel it on your hands after you pet her. Oh, sweaty ass noodle.
CO2 and leave behind the sodium acetate that we're interested in. That's what gets electrolyzed and turned into ethane. So unlike ethylene, the ethane won't be made 100% from the fruit since it requires that additional reagent of baking soda. So that's the way the cookie crumbles, at least in theory. Let's see if I can get it to work in practice. Wait, before we continue, riddle me this.
No.
Phones, computers, AI girlfriends, and that smart fridge that you paid for.
Hold on. Nope, no, wait.
Wait, before we continue, riddle me this. Phones, computers, AI girlfriends, and
maybe we should watch
that smart fridge that you paid $5,000 for. What do these things have in common aside from being built as cheaply as humanly possible?
What the fuck? What am I looking at? What? Genuinely, what am I looking at? This is the aforementioned AI girlfriend. Freaking cock and balls USB connector. This is crazy.
Software, that's what. You may have noticed software is everywhere in your daily life, even in places where it has no business being. And it's going to stay that way until we all get sent back to the Stone Age by a big solar flare. If you're working in any space that's even remotely technical, you're probably going to run into a situation that calls for at least some amount of software. Yeah, that's right, I said the thing, but that's because it's a microcontroller. And that means you should be prepared by learning to code. Yeah, that's right, I said.
I just want to say, I try not to do this on the stream, but I always do this. I like skip ahead. And then I realize, oh, I'm missing context from the last 5 seconds, and then I skip back. So in total, I've watched more than if I just hadn't skipped.
Said the thing, but that's because it's true. According to big tech snooping, more than 1950 active tutorial like a motivated to just watch leaderboard skills. So if you try it to get 25% off your first year.
I bet boot.dev sucks unless they sponsor me, in which case they would be very great.
If you sign up for the annual plan. Okay, let's get back to the video. I went to the grocery store and got a bunch of fruits, but I'm definitely not going to be eating healthy today. Different fruits have different sugar concentrations, so they're going to yield different amounts of ethanol based on a given mass of
League ass logo? Okay, the first time I saw boot.dev, I actually thought it was a League ad. I legit thought it was like a League Junior thing. But no, it's just its own thing. But they took game imagery. Like boot.dev looks very gamey, right?
Of each fruit in order to maximize
percent sugar by mass banana. Oh, see, this makes sense. Like the two most wined fruit are grape and apple, right? Why don't we have banana wine? Like clearly it would make more? No, fuck. Wait. Oh, Jesus Christ. Clearly it would make way more sense. Okay, there we go. To use banana for winemaking. I also thought I was gonna say banana. Tastes ass, I don't know, depends on where it was, I guess.
Maximize the surface area for reaction, the fruits will be blended, starting with the strawberries. That's 383 grams, and the strawberries are the fruits I have the least of, so I'll use the same mass for the other samples. Next is bananas, which come out really thick and have a hard time flowing. In theory, the banana mix should yield the most ethanol because it
What? Yeah, no, it depends. If it was like in a warehouse for a long time and like just like, you know, taken when it wasn't ripe and they just let it get yellow in a warehouse under like some kind of conditions, then it won't taste good. We can and do make banana wine, but it's rare on the commercial scale because bananas lack the natural balance of sugars, acids, and tannins. Oh, tannins, okay. Needed to make stable, traditional tasting wine. Yeah. No, yeah, if it's, yeah, right, the tannins, fair enough. They're like in the shell of the grape mostly, so I get that. But there's the thing, traditional tasting wine. Like what if we had just gotten used to like banana wine as the normal thing and would just conceive like grape wine as the weird one out, the odd one. But yeah, I guess sometimes maximizing alcohol content isn't the goal with wine.
has the highest sugar content.
Did I have access to bananas that easily back then? No. No. I think we had grapes, but we didn't have bananas.
Out of all these fruits. Then there's grapes, which of course everyone knows are a tried and true method
But then again, people who had access to bananas could have made banana wine, is all I'm saying.
for making ethanol in the form of wine. They also make a lot of foam when they're blended. And finally, we've got apples. So here's the bowls of blended up fruit ready to be loaded. Each bowl holds 383 grams. The blended fruit is loaded into recycled half-gallon or 1.9 liter plastic bottles. A pinch of yeast nutrient is added into
Love myself some pet bottle brewed wine.
each one, and 5 grams of turbo yeast per bottle is added. I also filled a 5th bottle with the leftovers from the other fruits, which will add to the final ethanol
I really want to have like a sip of the wine that comes from this.
yield. The bottles have the lid slightly loose to allow CO2 to escape, and then they're just left to ferment. About
Wait, that's actually kind of crazy that... I mean, yeah, no, it does work with the lid slightly loose. I'm just kind of worried because at this point you could just like use the normal, thing with the water inside.
24 hours into the fermentation, the banana bottle blew up and splattered banana goo all over.
Oh no. I mean, I guess that could also be why they don't use banana. Too much sugar, too much activity.
The wall and the floor. Seems like the goo bubbled up and jammed the gap in the
Why?
lid, causing an overpressure. So unfortunately, I won't be able
Wait, was it even on screen or was I like hiding it? There was a foot in the screen.
to get a perfect comparison of the yields with the banana batch since I lost so much of it. Also, the smell is really bad, with the apple fermentation being the worst one. If you can imagine one of
Smells bad. Ooh, okay, that's kinda crazy, but good to know actually. Winemaking is so interesting. You get a very intense and sweet wine if you let the grapes hang for longer, so they get botrytis? Yeah. Botrytis. Sounds like a type of mole. Oh. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it... Winemaking it is just controlled mold in a way, I guess. Edelfäule, yeah. Why was the grape hung?
of those hot sulfur farts, that's exactly what it smells like. This is apparently from the really high rate of fermentation since I added a relatively large amount of yeast. There probably also wasn't enough nutrient for the large amount of yeast that was added, so the yeast doesn't have enough nitrogen and starts reacting with various sulfate compounds in the apples to make hydrogen sulfide.
Wait. couldn't you, like some people react strongly to sulfites in the wine. Couldn't you use this technique to remove it? Half the stuff we do is control mold. Yeah, no, actually, that is true. But it makes sense, right? Instead of like any random ass bacteria or yeast to attach itself to the food, you just like try something which is edible and like just takes over. And is like the dominant one.
Anyway, the bottles are left to continue fermenting for about a week, and then it's time to distill them. I'm going to use my reflux still that I built for my sugar fuel video, and distill each bottle individually to figure out the ethanol content of each. I ran the still at a higher power and longer time than I usually would, because I want to...
Why does the pot look like that? You can't, you gotta clean it and oh god. Every time I see like an explosions in fire video or like related, I would put this into like the explosions in fire kind of category of chemistry. The equipment is always hideous, but it works.
Because I want to get absolutely all of the ethanol out, even if it ends up being mixed with a lot of water. Everything was going pretty smoothly until I opened the fermented banana mix, which just about killed me from the smell. It was like an overpowering smell of sewage. Fortunately, the smell did disappear after distillation though. I measured
I had always thought that like winemaking would like smell kind of nice, but now I'm scared of like trying it. I've always wanted to try it, but I am a little scared now. Is this really the desired product?
measured the total ethanol yield by measuring the amount of liquid distilled over and its alcohol concentration by using a hydrometer in a graduated cylinder. So here's the results from doing that for 4 different fruits and from the mixed fruit. The mixed fruit obviously produced a lot more ethanol than the samples because there was just way more mass of it. But either way, that's obviously not a huge amount of ethanol considering the amount of fruit that had to be processed to make it. The ethanol still smells of sulfur, and I don't want sulfur compounds to contaminate the catalyst chamber when I crack it to ethylene, so I'm going to run it through the still again to clean it up. In fact, you can see these little blue crystals that I'm pretty sure are copper sulfate from the hydrogen sulfide or other sulfur compounds reacting with the copper in the reflux column and then coming over with the alcohol. Although it seems like they would dissolve since there's quite a bit of water in this solution. The ethanol has been distilled again, and there's very little odor now, so I think I should be able to run it through the ethylene generator without a problem. There's 235 milliliters of alcohol at a concentration of 73%, so all this fruit right here...
It's so dirty. It's like at least put it through a filter cloth, man.
Gave me 172 ml of pure ethanol. Based on the amount of ethanol we've got, with 100% yield, I should be able to make 104 grams of ethylene, which comes out to about 90 liters at room temperature, which would actually be enough to charge the second
I love like the constant like Edder's note corrections.
Stage of a small cascade refrigeration system. The ethylene generator is the same basic design as I've used in older videos on making ethylene, but it's a newer build because the old one got destroyed by a combination of accidents and moving. This one actually has proper fittings on the pipe ends, and I used exhaust
quality stuff.
Sealant to seal the NPT threads, which actually worked perfectly, and it seals under pressure even at high temperatures. I've made several videos on ethylene production, but in case you haven't seen those, here's a quick summary. When ethanol vapor is passed over an aluminum oxide catalyst at around 400-450 C, it splits into ethylene and water vapor. The water is condensed and the ethylene gas is collected. I use a PID controller connected to a solid-state relay for running the heaters on the catalyst pipe. I set the temperature to 350 C because I found that the thermocouple has poor contact with the pipe and reads low, so when it says 350, it's closer to 400 to 450, so I found this setting gives the best.
Oh yeah, it's just a tiny 50 degrees Celsius difference to 100 degrees. Oh yeah, it's just a small difference. You could just boil water once. Actually, no. The energy required to increase temperature by more at higher temperatures is higher, I think. Anyway, that's a lot of difference.
If the temperature is too low, it makes diethyl ether, which is ridiculously flammable and can get you really high for a short time, but you'll smell like jet fuel for the next 48 hours because the smell gets into literally everything. If the temperature is too high, you just make hydrogen and carbon and probably melt out the aluminum pipe too. So it's always best to err on the side of caution and run the temperature near the low end. Worst case, you lose a little bit of yield by making some ether instead, which will condense out with the water vapor. Also, you don't need a specific concentration of ethanol for this process to work. I've actually tried doing it by putting beer in the boiler, which had 5% alcohol by volume, and it's
Wait, is he shitting on Bud Light? Which is fair, by the way. But okay, there's a little tip. I always thought that Bud Light and Budweiser were from the same company, but it is not the case. And I'm not sure if it's not the case at all. But Budweiser is good beer. Bud Light, like piss, which is bad, unless you like that. In which case, I guess I can't stop you.
still produced ethylene at the output, but the gas production rate was obviously way lower and a lot more water condensed out. Alright, so I'll go ahead and load up the boiler with our fruit alcohol and set the heater to 60 watts and turn on the catalyst heater. After about half an hour I can tell we're starting to get some output because water is dripping into the moisture trap.
Very nice. Ooh.
I let the reaction run for just under 3 hours, at which point the dripping stops, and if I look inside the boiler, it's totally empty, so all the alcohol has been boiled off, and
Yeah, it's totally empty. There's like just some green residue. Just some green residue.
this beach ball is the amount of ethylene gas that's been collected. The other stuff to the side of the ethylene generator is a refrigerant compressor and a chiller that I built. I normally use this chiller as a refrigerated dryer, but today I'll be using it to condense the ethylene in its heat exchanger. The chiller is allowed to cool while the ethylene is being produced, and once it's done, I connect
Wait.
in its heat exchanger. The chiller is allowed to cool while the
Heat exchanger here? I don't... Is this really enough to run that later?
ethylene is being produced, and once it's done, I connect the beach ball full of ethylene to the refrigerant compressor and pump it into the heat exchanger, which is somewhere between minus 30 to minus 40 C. Pressure tops out at a little over 300 psi or 21 bar. Once the bag looks like a shriveled up raisin, the refrigerant compressor is done pumping. I release the liquid ethylene from a valve at the bottom of the chiller's heat exchanger, and as it hits the atmosphere, it immediately evaporates and its temperature drops to its boiling point of minus 104 C.
Nice.
I should have done this with gloves because I got a tiny spot of frostbite on my finger afterward.
No, actually, you should not have done this with gloves. If you freeze a glove, you'll still freeze the inside if the glove isn't good. But like, you could just like accidentally soak the glove in like frozen like liquid, and then it'll still freeze you. But you have a glove on, which you can hardly get off. What you should have done is just like not held it so close to the freaking outlet.
So we've successfully gone from a pile of fruits on the kitchen counter to liquid ethylene evaporating at minus 104 C. Next I'm going to ferment some more fruit, distill it off to alcohol, and add it to
Okay, I was about to say like this is probably not enough to like run a whole setup.
water until I've got a concentration of about 6% alcohol in this 1 gallon or 3.8 liter container. Then I'm going to take some unpasteurized vinegar and add about 250 ml of it. Because the vinegar is unpasteurized, it has the bacteria in it that can produce acetic acid by consuming ethanol and oxygen. Our starting pH is 4.6, but as the acetobacter does its work, the solution will become more acidic and that number will drop. I'm going to use this pump to feed the solution air through this bubbler stone so that the acetobacter has a constant supply of oxygen and the process can complete in a few days rather than a few weeks. The bubbling was a bit too
I'd expected like a slight bubbling, like you know, like a fish tank kind of bubbling, but no.
aggressive though, so I dialed back the power on the air pump by powering it through a dimmer switch, which brought the bubbling down to a much more reasonable rate that didn't splash liquid all over the place.
Yeah, very
After
good.
10 days I measured a sample of the solution and it's dropped from 4.6 to 3.7 on the pH. So
4.6 to 3 points. I feel like there's something there, but I'm not quite sure. Anyway, this is quite acidic. Quite acidic indeed. Like, I think this is at the point where it starts to get dangerous for your teeth. Not dangerous, but like it can attack your teeth, I think, at this point.
So we've definitely created some more acetic acid than the vinegar we started with. Next I'm going to add baking soda to the solution to turn the
Well, that would just neutralize it, no?
acetic acid into sodium acetate for the next part of the process.
Yeah, okay.
Lots of fizzing and bubbling occurs as I add it, and I keep adding it until the bubbling stops and all the acetic acid has been consumed. Then I boil the solution down until I'm left with a mix of sodium acetate and residual organic material from the vinegar that got charred and made
Residual organic material, aka like just coal, the char.
traces of carbon soot. In total, only 36 grams of relatively contaminated sodium acetate was collected. Not very good, but enough for a demonstration. I'm going to dissolve it back into water and try to filter out all the organic contaminants and soot, but even with filtration, the solution is still a dark brown color. I guess I'll just have to work with it. The next step is to electrolyze the solution. This little piece of
I wouldn't even know how to fix that, honestly. Like, the thing with carbon is, such little stuff reacts with, I mean, yeah, no, by nature it is not very reactive, so it's like hard to work with, which is why organic chemistry is hell. Hell. Like, hell. With a capitalized H and also capitalized other like letters.
of wire is pure platinum and will serve as my anode. With the platinum anode, the electrolysis process will break up the acetate ion and give off CO2 and ethane gas. This is called Kolb electrolysis. Now I think this can also be done with a multi-metal oxide or MMO anode like this one, which I've used in the past for chlorate production. This is
I've seen this video. Wait, hold on. I've seen the chlorate video. Oh my god. Oh, that was, yeah, that was an experience. I maybe I've seen it on Explosions and Fire. I might have seen it on Explosions and Fire or Extractions and Ire. But yeah, this is quite the design, and it works way better than it should, I think.
This is a piece of titanium that has oxides of iridium, ruthenium, and some other stuff coated on it. The cathode is just a piece of copper tubing glued to a 3D printed fitting that'll go over a glass bowl, and an extra cup from a blender to collect the anode gases through a tube with a check valve that only allows gas to flow outward. It kind of looks like I filled it with Coke, but you definitely wouldn't want to drink this. The gas collection tube runs all the way up to the very top of the inverted cup to keep it above the liquid line. I have this large syringe.
Like, it looks jank, but at its core, it is a sensible setup, I guess.
For collecting.
It's just that everything he works with is just kind of contaminated.
Gases from the inverted cup as they're produced. When I hook it up, you can see we've got about half an amp going in and a little cloud of bubbles coming up from the anode. The gas production rate is really slow at half an amp. Now I'm going to pull back the syringe to collect.
Yeah, it is very slow at half an amp, but like you would like wear out the is it the cathode or the anode? But you'd wear them out a little bit too quick if you pull higher power.
A sample. Well, looks like a little bit of liquid got in, but that's no big deal. It's kind of cool to watch the liquid line go up in the inverted cup as I pull back on the syringe. Sure enough, the gas lights up. It's a lazy blue flame that doesn't burn very aggressively because it's 2 parts CO2 mixed with 1 part ethane. To use it as refrigerant, the CO2 would need to be scrubbed out with calcium hydroxide.
Which once again is not very hard to do, right?
The nice thing about ethane is that you can store it as a liquid under pressure at room temperature at around 42 bar or 600 psi. So
oh yeah, just 42 bar. Just 48. Reminder. The atmosphere is 1 bar. This is insane. Like, you'd need kind of a very highly certified pressure tank for this.
You could use a repurposed CO2 tank, which is pretty convenient. Both of these hydrocarbons are commonly used as refrigerant in the
These are expensive for large vessels.
second stage of a cascade vapor compression system, or in gas mixtures of mixed gas Joule-Thomson refrigeration cycles like those used for liquefying natural gas or nitrogen. In fact, just recently, Lab Conco sent me this cold trap for a freeze dryer, which uses a cascade system that's charged with ethylene in the second stage. So that's big thanks to them. It gets below minus 100°C, so I'm going to use it in some future videos to try and liquefy natural gas. But anyway, that's the process of converting fruit into refrigerant. These two refrigerants were for much lower temperature uses, but it's also possible to use the ethanol I made to synthesize heavier hydrocarbons with higher boiling points that can be used as the first stage refrigerant. The most likely pathway to this is to dimerize ethylene made from fruit ethanol into butene, and then
it is kind of funny that like making a second stage refrigerant, which like boils at a lower temperature, is easier than making the one that cools stuff less, basically, right? That is Kinda ironic.
Excess ethylene is reacted with butene to form propylene, which can be used in place of R22 or R290. This process involves some pretty weird catalysts like taking
The second stage of the ethylene synthesis gives you butene, but the stages in which refrigerants are used are inverted, which is kind of fun.
titanium
This is very
tetrabutoxide, triethyl aluminum, and tungsten oxide. So
this is evil. Evil organic chemistry.
that'll definitely take some more time and research to figure out.
This is a Fischer-Tropsch process, for Christ's sake. It's so funny that his editor is probably the more diligent chemist.
How to do. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.
Right. That was a pleasant watch. Refrigerant from fruit. I wish we could have seen it used, but like I guess it's another video. Now, by Sun, I've received this entry.
The accumulation of dust donuts on the color calibration targets used by cameras on Perseverance.
This is semi-intrigued. I've never seen like the color calibration discs on Perseverance. But also, them being perfectly circled by dust is intriguing. So let's see why that is.
Means that Martian dust is behaving as expected. It also reveals a fundamental difference between dust on Mars and Earth. Our dust doesn't behave this way. On this episode of Mars Guy, 2 weeks ago, Perseverance completed a drive to get a better look at the rocks I reported on in the previous episode.
Hold on, Wait, isn't Perseverance the one that has been on there for like years by now? Huh.
Here's Mars Guy for scale. You can see that it required a sharp turn toward the end, which involves the rover's four-wheel steering doing a turn in place, leaving behind a nice donut, but not like the burned rubber kind from a muscle car on pavement.
Right.
The initial location was just short of the drive target, so Perseverance had to reposition to get a better orientation on the slab of rock in front of it. But that position was still not quite right, so some additional fancy wheel work.
I feel is it me? Is it my attention span that's broken, or is the pacing very slow?
Was required, which finally hit the spot. All these maneuvers left behind what may be the greatest density of wheel tracks anywhere on Mars, something for future rovers to aspire to. While parked here, Perseverance shot one of its routine images with the Mastcam Z camera, a look back at its color calibration target. Shooting it at about 9:30 in the morning is somewhat unusual, and the low sun angle really highlights the increasingly thick dust deposits accumulating as neat little donuts around the collar.
Yeah, the kind of can I say the white and the black and the gray rings aren't really pure anymore.
Color patches.
Are they?
But before I explain that story, there's the one presented on the Cal target in collaboration with the Planetary Society. It starts with Earth and Mars forming at the same time, with both possibly evolving DNA molecules and single-cell organisms, but then only one evolving multicellular plants and animals,
I see.
one of which became capable of building rockets that could fly to Mars. The dust donut story starts with the clever use of little ring magnets underneath the color patches to help keep them clean.
Wait, hold on. Ring magnets to keep them clean. Okay, see, my first intuition would be to make some kind of vibrating system to get them clean. Because, like, how do you clean something on Mars, right? Kind of hard to do. But like, dust isn't magnetic usually, so why the magnets?
The idea to send magnets on spacecraft goes all the way back to the Lunar Surveyor program in the 1960s, which showed that the moon has magnetic particles in its regolith. In the 1970s,
right. In that case, it makes sense.
The two Viking landers carried magnets to the surface of Mars, including one to test if the dust there is magnetic. It is. Subsequent missions carried them as well, showing that little ring-shaped magnets could repel dust across a small circular area. Here's what that looks like using a ring magnet and a magnetic iron oxide mineral, appropriately named magnetite.
That's very cool.
It can
actually.
occur at the few percent level in basaltic lava rocks, which are common on Mars and the Moon. Magnets on Mars have shown that every particle of dust falling from the sky is magnetic, which is surprising given that Martian dust is not pure magnetite.
Yeah,
Even
right. I think it's rust mostly, right? Well, mostly. Apparently not. Which isn't magnetic as far as I know.
Magnetite gives it the reddish color, and there's also bits of silicates and salts in it,
Which are not magnetic.
but none of these is magnetic. So somehow all these bits get stuck together along with magnetite to make Martian dust particles magnetic. How this happens is not clear, maybe electrostatics. What is clear is that typical dust that falls from the sky on Earth is not sufficiently magnetic to accumulate in neat little donuts. I collected this dust from the roof of my house in Phoenix, Arizona, where it hasn't rained in weeks.
Oh, that's super interesting. Okay, when he talked about his own dust, I was waiting for this, but this dust looks nothing like the dust where I live, right? I live next to a road, and all the dust that I get is like gray. Because, well, in essence, what we mostly get here is rubber, like tire dust. Not really that much brake dust because there's no real braking zone in this area, but a lot of tire and like asphalt dust. So it's very gray. It looks kind of non-natural. This looks natural. This dust. This is very, yeah. It's roof dust, right? So in Arizona, that would be just like the surrounding sand.
The circular magnet under the sheet of
Dust.
paper has no effect on the falling dust, so very un-Mars-like. And do try this at home. Someday, if your home is on Mars, your kids can make their own version of a classic Earth toy using magnetic Martian dust from your backyard.
That's kind of interesting. I mean, I understand now that like he never explained any of this. Like the magnet is there to like keep the collar, the reference collar clean, so you can still use it as a reference collar. But I'm not sure if it like fully works. Yeah, sure, these look mostly right. But I feel like there's still a thin film of like micro dust on there, which does change the picture a little bit, doesn't it? Like it's not, most of the particles are repelled, but there's still some that are clinging to the surface, which, I mean, Perseverance has been there for like how many years? Perseverance rover. 2020. It's been there for quite a while. It's been there for 6 years, so it makes sense that it's a little dusty. Hi, Pink Frog. Well, yeah, I thought they would have made like a system that keeps those clean a little bit better. I mean, this is genius, but still. Welcome to the stream. Don't apologize for not being here yet. I'm not. We have gone through the refrigerant from fruit, the hyperspace pirate video, and now the Mars one. I am. Oh yeah, right. As I said, stuff that makes the cut for React Slop Sunday gets a check mark.
Gathered friends.
This one did not get the check mark. 40 consecutive streams, that is crazy. Not bad, not bad. I was busy huffing brake cleaner. Oh, for your bike. Nice, nice, nice. It's a good day. It's a good day for bike endeavors. Oh, okay. I have a friend who's like really into like biking. I think he got a like his own race bike this year, because this year is the first year that he's been like employed as a teacher, and so he said, okay, for my first paycheck, I'm just gonna buy like my dream bike. That was like in spring, or like maybe in February, so sometime in February maybe. He told me yesterday he's made 7,700 kilometers with it. Which is insane. That's like the kind of mileage you'd have on a car. He just has it casually on a bike, and it's not even like half a year old. Did I watch George vs. the Gauntlet of Filth? Yes, I did. Not on stream, but I pulled up the video and I realized I've seen the video before. It was a good video. It was a good video. I liked it, but I've seen it before. I think I saw it when it came out. We have quite a lot of bikes. Ooh, nice, nice. I still have mine to prepare. I've been saying that I'll prepare it for like years now, but I've never done so. But I'll get there someday. Anyway, this is the entire story of Bionicle, which
Listen again to all
is 9 hours. I wasn't aware that there was so much story, because I only I think I caught one gen and then never heard of them again.
legend of the Bionicle. In the time before time, Duckbrick started a Bionicle retold series.
Anyway, so this is the long version, but very handily, Sun, who is sent this into the submissions, has also given us a abridged version, and I feel like that one is much more like much more viewable. Let's lock in for this.
I want to know. I'm ready. I want to know.
Gather friends. Listen again to our legend of the
Right, okay, well, now we know, Whew, that was an experience. Today you cleaned and re-greased the drivetrain of your yellow vintage Motobekan. Ooh, and you also redid the back wheel bearing. Oh, nice, nice. Disassembled, cleaned, and put it together again with the old worn parts, but with new grease. I mean, if it's one of those bearings where you can't do that, more power to you. Sometimes, I'm not a hater of modern bearings, but like, you know, the ones where you have to like fully replace them because they kind of just like, they're not really reopenable, kinda. Oh, right. It has a bit of wiggle and doesn't run like silky smooth, but it works. And hey, that's the most important part. Like, to be honest, like every bearing I've ever seen that like ran silky smooth, after like a little bit of use, it just like they just sometimes they just do their thing and they're not silky smooth anymore after a few hours of use. But maybe I just haven't had, or like haven't experienced a high quality bearing just yet. Anyway, you've sent this one.
How's it going?
And this one got the ice tag, which means that I've watched it, but I will not watch it on stream. But it was interesting. It was good. I did watch the whole thing. But this one here, pushing a naval mine off a mountain, this one had me very intrigued. Now, as I said, I do kind of watch like the first few seconds to decide whether I want to include a video to be watched on Sunday, and I'll just judge it based off of that in the comments. Like the title and the thumbnail are just so intriguing. I can't not watch it, and I had almost started watching this video fully. I had to catch myself at the 5-second mark, just like now, to not watch it. But I'm also kind of scared that I can't show this. Which won't stop me from showing it because I just want to watch this. The correct thing to do would have been replacing the balls and racers where possible, but that costs money. Yes, that is the issue with bearings. Good maintenance costs money, and sub-recommended maintenance still makes them work, so yeah. Did I watch the wizard thinks he isn't getting the death penalty one? Yeah, I did. I watched it on stream. I think. Pretty sure. Where's my brake indicator? Brake. Yep. I did. That one was on stream. Right, let's get into the naval mine then, if no one dies.
Morska mina more se porinuti I na 1746 metara visine. Ovo je moguće prvi jedinstveni slučaj da se ona koristi to na visini od 1740.
Love the setup. Oh, a naval mine can be used at high altitudes. It doesn't have to be submerged in water.
I 6 metara.
A kakva je to mina?
Wait, is it a Russian? A Croatian, right.
Morska mina ili protubrodska mina.
Recite, to je već je iskušano njeno djelovanje.
Već je iskušano njeno djelovanje I ona ima veliki efekt pokazalo do sada.
Yeah, I mean...
Hvala vam lijepo. Evo.
S opuštenjem, pazi. Nemoj jako
bez brige, mane.
Fucking love that. Don't get too close, but proceeds to push it off a mountain. Oh. Safety.
Da ću ja pornuti minu. Umjesto sa par metara visine morske broda, ja ću je pornuti sa ove velike kote. Pust pod oni kuglu I sve, Boga.
Yes, release the sphere. Is it Croatian soldiers defending Livno using a naval mine against Serb forces in 1992? I can't believe they filmed this.
Kad si bacala nove, kad stisnem šumu, kad spognula?
Pizon, da si poraža vrijeme s Japanu su ići.
Ali prebit će se oni fitri.
Kaže, ne šljem stavi, molim.
Put on a helmet, please. Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess you would need the helmet only after you've rolled it down because it didn't explode in your hands.
Lezi! Lezi!
Plin se, ili...
You mean the gas?
Lezi gori! Lezi! Gledaj što iđu. Lezi gori! Lezi!
When he said look at them go, was this directed at the Serb forces?
Bravo! Lezi!
Yeah. Right, they weren't lying when they said it is to great effect. I can't... See, every time I open this browser, I think I get like a reset YouTube experience, right? So this is what someone would get recommended, which is kind of kind of funny. This is clearly geo-referenced. I don't know why this is a recommendation. Yeah. Lots of gun stuff every time I open this on a incognito or like a reset window. Don't know why. I think this was just some fooling around. I hope it was, because like, wait, let me see the preview. It's like Croatian soldiers defending Livno using naval mine against Serb forces. Was there Croatia, Serbia, 1992? Let's see. Oh. Well. I guess only forests were harmed in the making of this video. Right, let's go further. Sun sent me this in the Discord, which had me scared. Like the first frame, Terminator versus Alien, and then I read like the description, where it said studio Nollywood, and that had me intrigued because, see, Nollywood is like the actual film industry of Nigeria, apparently. Like, so it is actual cinema, which reminded me that Wakaliwood exists, which is the Ugandan well, Hollywood equivalents, and they're the guys who made Who Killed Captain Alex. And I was wondering how these guys were doing, right? Because I haven't seen them in a while. But it's kind of crazy how far they've come with such little budget. What is my cursor? Is Gigi Murin from Whole Life English Justice. Murin. Here you go. That's her. She's my cursor. Big fan. But yeah, they had...
Testing microphone 1 2. Coming at you live from Africa. Welcome to Uganda. Okay, attack.
Like, they have proper equipment.
This is
from the old movies. You can't really tell because I mean I guess those were shot on camcorders still, but because they've I guess seen some success with those, they managed to like upgrade their gear a little bit and make like really nice shots.
The home of the best action movies. We call it Wakaliwood. My movies, they are action, but in a comedy way.
They're very gory usually, but like they pour everything into those, which I find admirable.
If we need a gun, we weld it. Anything like a jib, camera stand. If we don't have one, we make it.
And I swear this is I was waiting for this. This is basically how every film industry like kind of developed, right? They had nothing, started building it up, and if they needed something, they made it. I'm sure we'll hear more of these in the future. Lots of exploding heads. Yeah, it reminds me of Kingsman. Which... Kingsman had lots of exploding heads for reasons that I did not understand. Can I, like, get rid of this? I don't want suggestions. I really don't want suggestions. Oh, fuck that. Well... See, this is why I don't use this browser. Whatever. But yeah, Terminator vs. Alien reminded me of that because I've seen the Wakaliwood films in the past. This is all the pixels we're getting. This is all the pixels we're getting. the use of repeated use of the same shot. At this point, I can't tell whether like any of this is CG or not, but it looks like it doesn't look real, doesn't it? Maybe it's just a bit rate. I mean, this doesn't, yeah. What also fucks with me is how the alien, like every CG element is just, it has so much more like detail than the rest. Somewhat. Shit, that was actually. See, I don't even know how to do that. Still, to this day. Right, yeah, the alien. Who doesn't know the alien with the gun? Ooh, a little bit of Matrix in there. Oh, this is great so far. They really took some iconic scenes, concluding them. I like this. You know that I love movies. Very urgent indeed. Very urgent. And we have to stare off. So silly. Oh, we have a definitive winner? That's easy. Didn't expect that. What? Why do we have a second Terminator? I don't understand what's going on anymore. Oh wait, this is like a mirror from the first shot. What is happening? Is this a super kind of two different renditions of it? Huh? Huh. Combs is right. It keeps you engaged because you have no idea what happens next. It's true. The heart kind of Of course. CG. I think it's being helped a lot by being very low resolution and bit rates. Okay, I think this is just super kind of short. See, he just leaves the baby there. Right, let's get off of this recommendation screen. Amazing alien, actually amazing alien. It's I don't even I'm flabbergasted. I don't even know what I just watched, but it was good. Oh yeah, then you sent this in, Pink Frog, which doesn't kind of load. Hello? Right, there we go. Which, unfortunately, I've already seen in its entirety.
So legend has it that if you take a potato and put it under extreme pressure and heat, then explosively release that pressure, the potato will peel itself.
I didn't know that that was how automatic peeling worked. I just want to get to the segment where he explains it, because I think it's really interesting.
Potato peel itself, it's actually pretty simple. Steam transfers heat to things a lot faster than air. So when it surrounds the potato, it will heat up the skin really fast. It'll do it so fast, the heat will only penetrate a little bit below the potato skin. The water just under the skin of the potato will get so hot that it would boil if it weren't under pressure from the steam. It's like a pressure cooker. But if you quickly release all the pressure...
Right, because pressure raises the boiling point.
All the superheated water under the skin of the potato will boil and expand, but it's...
Like immediately, as soon as you release the pressure. I mean, you know this, I just want to have this on record for the water.
Trapped under the skin of the potato, so it'll just pop it like a balloon, and it should just come off the potato.
It should.
At least in theory. Which doesn't sound that...
Which I thought was amazing. I've never thought about how stuff gets peeled, but it makes sense. It makes sense. You just flash heat the outside, make the water boil, and have it explode, basically. I did think if you were to, like, heat it too much, you might just, like, explode the whole outer layer, but if you, like, leave it in there for just the right amount of time, this is a very cool tech. You've also seen a different type of auto peeling where they slightly pressure cook the potato and then, like, tumble the thin outer layer off. Oh, instead of, like, making the steam do all the work, you just, like, let steam do half the work and then tumble the rest off. I think that's also how... No, this is not how almonds get peeled. Maybe, I'm not sure. But anyway, this is very cool, and to see it in action is also very cool. So, let's see it in action.
Apple. It smells like apple pie in here.
Alright, you gotta check this out. If you look closely, you can see...
The outer layer is loose because the outer layer is cooked and soft.
It's gonna work. No. Yes! That is exactly what I imagined.
A cool shot. Like, bless YouTubers who put glass pane, well, not glass, but like glass panes in front of stuff so we can see processes happen. Like, there would be so much stuff we just wouldn't know how it looks because we don't have video of it.
People need it or something.
Yeah, the people need it. This has been in there for a little bit too long, I think. But anyway, seeing it happen to, like, a strawberry is really intense.
What do you think it's gonna do? Shoot all the seeds off the side, maybe?
Charging in 3, 2, 1. Closing the charge. Venting. It smells...
I think he let it cook a little
like strawberry, I'll tell you what. Whew. Whoa, what on earth, dude?
It has actually been de-seeded.
Looks like Super Meat Boy. Alright, let's see what this high speed looks like.
It just straight up explodes.
Oh my goodness.
It's so much more violent when it happens.
I would not have expected that. It looks like the strawberry turned into strawberries and cream. If I made all my...
This fucking kills it, yeah. Wouldn't want that to happen to you. I mean, the pressurized sauna would do it, I guess.
Art, it's probably what...
Anyway, yeah. Stuff made here, really great channel. Everyone should subscribe. It's just, like, highly recommended. Wait, I just want to see when it popped onto my radar. What is the first video I've seen? I've seen this. I've seen this. You know what? Let me see if I know this one. I think I've seen it from the first video.
My dad has this $20 Harbor Freight Sawzall, and somehow he lost the blade guard for it. I've always wanted to try to press form sheet metal using 3D printed forms. I haven't really ever seen that done before, and it seems like a fun project. So I'm gonna see basically the metal, and they're super fast. See it if I put a square against it. Now the ease with which the press demolished it was a bit shocking, but also probably indicates that this material just isn't gonna work. In the press, we have the aluminum die in there, everything's oiled up. So let's see if we can get some forming.
I also love the irony of like, oh yeah, bending steel with plastic tools, but like he has everything else at his disposal. He wouldn't need to.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure I've seen this one. Pretty sure, like stuff made here like came out the gate swinging. This went viral immediately, pretty much. Making a particle filter that doesn't wear out your plasma card. Yeah. No, I've seen it all. That's crazy. He first saw the particle filter one, but he saw it 2 years after release. I see. This was right around COVID. Yep, sure was. Okay. Which is probably also a lucky coincidence. But I mean, the videos, the first few ones haven't been as good, but as soon as they, like, I think around about here is where they got like really high quality, and since then they've just been better and better. Or I wouldn't say the newer ones have been better per se, like in terms of like quality, but like they're like at the level where they need to be, and they're super entertaining. This is good. Very stuff made here, very good. Highly recommend. And I think with that, we are through with the ones that I've vetted, and I don't want to put unvetted stuff on the channel for today. And also we have gone for 2 hours, which is exactly the amount of time that I wanted to have. So, was getting a little bit tired. I'll take you to just chatting. This was enjoyable. I don't know, it's just the mix of just chatting and reacting on the way is very enjoyable. It's nice for a Sunday afternoon stream. I still have to like figure out the time slot. Sometimes I think it's not 3 to 5 p.m. is not optimal. But yeah, we'll see. I maybe will move it around a little bit. But that is a headache for another day. I'll update the rule set for the submissions for next time. Wait, let me just add in. I mean, oh yeah, I have the reactions to see where I was, right. What will I use as a final break for the last time? You know what, I'll just do this. This will indicate where I've stopped. Very good, very good. Right. That the triple header Schaddn emote will indicate where I've stopped for the last stream. Because I can't really insert something otherwise. Yeah, I'll update the rule set, I'll write it out, I'll pin it, and then you have that as well. And I'll do that before I release the schedule for next week. Right. Speaking of the schedule, it hasn't been finalized yet because I am picking up university stuff again because I have repeat exams creeping up, and well, what can I say? It's I just have to do it. not really something I enjoy in this particular case, but you know, gotta do it for the degree, I know. So yeah, maybe less streams than usual. Like, we're gonna go back to the, I think, 3 stream cadence with Sunday, Friday, and quite likely Wednesday. But just the way you knew it. But yeah, I think that will be it. Let me check on Twitch if I have somewhere to send you. I'd love to do that. I've found a new... Oh, well, would you look at that? I found a new channel yesterday. He was playing Noita, and I thought it was somewhat enjoyable. It's a very chill atmosphere, and I feel comfortable sending you guys there. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I am ending stream, and I'll see you next week. Probably Wednesday. I'll release the schedule. I'll release the files. I'm sorry, and I'll send you somewhere very, very comfy, because we're at the time limit for today, and we're through with the submissions, which coincides very perfectly. Anyway, I hope that until next time you have a wonderful time. Let me see if I can set up the raid correctly. There we go. And I hope you'll enjoy your time there. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope that we'll see each other again on Wednesday. And with that shall be it from my side. Goodbye!